got you! I got you!
As we all know, 2020 and 2021 were not the best years for movie releases due to the pandemic. There was a massive decline in release of good movies, but in 2022, movie releases have returned to normal. Though audiences' expectation for what they want to see from movies releasing in theaters have changed. But that's not an issue because in 2022, we got a lot of great movies with good cinematic experience. But not only that, we got so many amazing movies on streaming services that balance out the narrative-focused movies with the cinematic ones.
Nice.
Before starting with the list, I just want to clear that if you don't see your favorite movies in this list, then either I may not connected with those movies enough or I haven't seen them yet, like The Whale, Avatar, or The Fableman. But feel free to share your top 10 movies of 2022 list in the comments. I'm curious to see which movies you guys liked. Okay, enough with that, let's start with the video.
Finally!
Number 10. Barbarian. Starting the list with The Barbarian. It is an horror mystery and it puts a new twist on the horror genre with the characters who seem to be taken right out of the real world. This movie puts Pennywise in danger, so that's something. The acting performances are really good and the tension built throughout the movie is the best part of it. And the way they joined different characters' story together was really creative. Despite the tension being all high, they still managed to make us sympathize with the big bad of the movie. So that made it even better for me. Anyways, now let's move on to number 9. The Woman King. The Woman King is an action drama directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. It's about the group of all-woman warriors who protected the African kingdom of Dahomey in 1800s. The biggest strength of this movie and the reason I included in my top 10 list is its performances, action set pieces, and the very drama of the movie. It keeps you engaged the whole time, and the strong performances by Viola Davis and the rest of the cast made this movie more special than your average historical movie. This is what you call an historical epic.
But we have a weapon. They are not prepared for.
Now, before moving to number 8, I will do an honorable mention for a movie that didn't make it to my top 10 list, but it was still a great movie. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Somehow this is a better multiverse crossover movie than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. A genuinely hilarious movie with pretty much every IP you can think of, including everyone's favorite, Ugly Sonic.
Ugly Sonic, that's the spirit!
And they'll like me for who I am. Not like last time when the internet got one look at my human teeth and burned the place down.
Anyway, let's move on to number 8. Imagine you are living in 1918, stuck in an isolated farm with your partner away for war. And you are living with your parents doing nothing but house chores, and the only thing that keeps you going is your dream of becoming a movie star. If you can't imagine that, don't worry. You can just watch Pearl, because that's what the movie is about, but I made it sound too much like a Disney fairy tale. But this movie is no fairy tale, not at all. It is a horrific slasher movie where the protagonist goes more and more insane as the movie continues. The reason I put this movie in this list is due to its excellent execution of a character's descent to madness and telling a great story instead of just becoming a gore fest in the name of being a slasher. My god's performance is incredible. She did an almost 7-minute long monologue without breaking her accent or the facial expressions. I'm not sure if I will make a best performances of 2022 list, but if I do, she will definitely be a part of it.
Things could just go back to the way they were before, but I don't see how they could. Not after the things I've done.
Number 7. Bullet Train.
You stab me?
This movie is special to me because my first video was the review of this movie. As I mentioned in the intro, a lot of movies with great cinematic experience came out this year. This movie is among the top movies of that list. It is the only movie ever that I watched twice in theater because the atmosphere of this movie, the experience, it was outstanding. Every actor understood their character and made them so memorable with their performances. The R-rated action set pieces are insane and fun to watch. The soundtrack and humor of the movie made it 10 times more entertaining. A job well done by the director, and it has one of the most crazy climax I have watched in a Hollywood movie recently. It's not just a good to watch in theater type of movie. Ever since it came out on streaming services, I have watched it again and it's just as much entertaining if not more. I'm sure it will develop a cult following as time goes, but for now, let's do another honorable mention. I'm doing it before every even number. Crimes of the Future. An uncomfortable but creative look into future with the concept of humans evolving again. The movie, while slow, but was really interesting to watch. But again, some scenes are uncomfortable, so don't watch it if that's not your cup of tea. Moving on to number 6.
Nope. That's big.
It's in the cloud.
After his modern classic Get Out and our creepy but fantastic movie Us, Jordan Peele delivers another creatively genius movie, Nope. What I loved about this movie was how Jordan played with our concepts of aliens, and the concept of Nope is even more scary than what you think you are seeing. Like, imagine you are looking at a cloud for months without even thinking it could be more than just that. The brilliant execution of the concept is what makes the movie so special. The sense of tension throughout the movie is used brilliantly by Jordan to keep the audiences engaged, and it all pays off because the climax of the movie is the best part. A story about greed and false sense of invisibility
Shoot
done
me.
right.
I am not going to shoot you. Try, General. See what happens. Reflected. Ow!
Daniel Kaluuya gave a really grounded performance, just the type of performance required from such movie. KK Palmer gave a believable performance. He showed this situation so well. Brandon Pereira and Steven Yeun were great sport. Now moving on to number 5, Top Gun Maverick. The biggest blockbuster of summer 2022. The movie that exceeded everyone's expectation, both financially and critically. This movie did what is supposed to be pretty much impossible. A sequel released 36 years after the original movie, by which time the original movie has become a classic, and not just a classic but one of the most beloved and appreciated movie ever, that boosted Tom Cruise's career to what it is now. And the sequel still managed to Top Gun it. Sorry, I wanted to say top it, but the movie's name is Top Gun, so I thought why not. Anyways, the original movie has so much nostalgia connected to it that fans would have accepted a even halfway decent sequel, because we live in a time where sequels or remakes are only good for tarnishing the legacy of original. But this movie easily outdid the original. It respected the original and continued the story of Maverick, Iceman, and Goose in the best way possible, while doing an incredible job of implementing new elements and characters without making it their mission to prove the original characters are clowns and losers. I'm looking at you, Ray, and She-Hulk, and the cinematic experience of this movie was just. This is the movie audiences needed in theater ever since everything returned to normal. Though COVID is still out there lurking around to find you, so don't forget to still take necessary precautionary measures. Anyways, the stunts in this movie were all practical effects, which took this movie to just another level. It added a sense of realism and urgency to the movie. I'm not gonna get in the whole practical effects versus CGI debate, but you have to admit that knowing what this movie managed to achieve using practical effects make you love and respect this movie even more than you already did. Props to Tom Cruise, the whole cast and crew.
Yet here you are, Captain. What is that?
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
Time for another honorable mention, The Northman, an action movie following the journey of Prince Hamlet, who is seeking revenge on his uncle who murdered his father and abducted his mother. A really well executed movie by Robert Eggers with strong performances by the whole cast. Now on to number 4, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It does not look good.
Where to begin with this one? Let's start with another better multiverse movie than Multiverse of Madness on the list. But that's common knowledge now. Directors Daniel Cohen and Daniel Scheiner's concept of multiverse might be the most creative idea of the year. A Chinese immigrant is forced into an adventure of lifetime when she comes into contact with her husband's multiverse counterpart, and she has to connect with her different versions from multiverse to stop an evil that is personal. The best thing about this movie, pretty much everything. I mean, if they made a scene about paying tax entertaining, then you can count on them to provide you with some of the most bizarre fun you will have in a long time. This movie takes its concept seriously while using it to give you some of the most ridiculously brilliant scenes put in a movie. I like the way it is divided into chapters with parts of the title, and this movie is an original with hilarious scenes balanced out by dramatic performances by the cast in second half. Michelle Yeoh was perfect in the role of Evelyn Wong. I read that originally the main character was going to be a male and they offered it to Jackie Chan, but he refused. While I'm sure Jackie Chan would have done a great job, but this role was made for Michelle. No one could have done a better job than her. While I haven't watched any other project of Ke Huy Quan, but damn, he was fantastic in his role. Whether it was his comic timing, action side, or dramatic performance in the second half, he nailed it all. Stephanie Shu and James Hong were strong spot and key parts of the movie, and you are not ready to see Jamie Lee Curtis. She embraced her role and accepted the insanity of this movie and added so much to it. And it seems like Russo brothers took a break from Marvel to produce a better multiverse movie. But let's go to number 3 now. Imagine, if you will, You're a renowned musician, a well respected personality, and you're on the verge of recording the symphony that will elevate your career to another level. But as you are nearing the recording, everything that you thought you had in control seems to have grown resistance to you. And it is slipping away through your fingers, and you can do nothing but watch it slip away, grasping the air to feel any sense of control now. That is the premise of Tar, a musical drama directed by Todd Field. Kate Blanchett played the role of Lydia Tarr, and not only is this one of the best movie I have watched this year, but her performance is one of the best I have watched in a very long time. Like I said before, I may make a best performances of 2022 video, but I can give you one spoiler for it right now. Kate Blanchett's performance as Star will easily be in top 3. It sounds impossible for someone with the success and caliber of Kate Blanchett to only come across as her character in your mind. I mean, you look at Brad Pitt in some movie and you are like, that's Brad Pitt. You look at Sandra Bullock in some movie and you are like, that's Sandra Bullock. It's not due to their lack of acting ability. They're both fantastic at what they do. It's just that their screen presence is so strong and they have been around for so long that when you look at them, you associate their characters with them. Kate Blanchett is in the same boat, but in Tar, she managed to hide herself behind the character. You associate Lydia Tar with Lydia Tar, and that's really something for someone as well known as Kate. A phenomenal performance by her. And not only Kate, but everyone gave such a convincing and realistic performance that it not only made the movie so much more engaging, but made the character of Tar so much easier to understand because you can see how others act around her. The theme of this movie, the direction, writing, performances, screenplay, everything was perfect. This movie, along with another one on this list, are the two I will recommend the most. The way it tackles relevant topics of today, be it the cancel culture or the double life a lot of celebrities live, and a debate that even I think about a lot. Can you separate art from the artist? And after watching this movie, everyone will have their own take of the movie and the life of Tar. And to me, that's the best thing about this movie. You wonder yourself, what was Tar's fault? Being a horrible person or being unlucky? Unlucky that her wrongdoings were revealed while she was still alive. Because as the movie discusses, some of the personalities that are considered legendary now were not so good as well. Was she born in wrong time? Or was she just someone pretentious, trying to be who she wasn't? Well, that depends on your own take of the movie and the character of Tar. This is the type of movie you love when you first watch it, but as time goes on, you appreciate this movie even more. In fact, when I was writing the script of this video, discussing this movie made me appreciate it so much more that I moved it up a spot. It was supposed to be number 4 originally, so I should stop talking about it or I will just straight up move it to number 1. Before moving on to number 2, let's see the last honorable mention of the video. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Out of discussion of Kate Blanchett movie into another Kate Blanchett movie. And while she played a complex character in this movie, she voiced a monkey. But jokes aside, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is simply the best adaptation of Pinocchio since Disney animated movie and an original approach to the story of Pinocchio with strong voice acting and some dark theme. A must watch. And with that, let's go on to number 2, Cha Cha Real Smooth. Whenever I say or hear this movie's name, I am reminded of this meme. It's a really simple story about a man confused in his life. He works at a restaurant and hosts bar mitzvahs parties. And during one of these parties, he met a mother and her daughter. And as the time goes on, he becomes friends with them. And he and mother help each other find their true selves. While the story might sound simple, but the execution of the movie, its screenplay, acting performances, editing, and soundtrack made it a really unique experience for me. It's really rare that I watch a movie and after it ends, I wish it was longer. So to me, this movie was perfect. You understand the struggles of the character because the movie draws you in. While the ending I had in mind was different, but I understood why it ended that way because the moods and the struggles of the characters are shown brilliantly. The chemistry between the actors was remarkable and one of the major reasons why it worked so well. Dakota Johnson as a confused mother is the star of the movie. She is amazing. Cooper Raiff was really likable and portrayed the role brilliantly. Vanessa Burgard is fantastic as Lola. In a movie with actresses like Dakota Johnson and Leslie Mann, she holds her own and made the role her own. Leslie Mann, Ivana Sant, and Raul Costello played the role outstandingly. The only reason I am not putting this movie on top is because I like the top one slightly more, but I will say out of all the movies in this list, I will recommend this entire the most. And now, the one you were hopefully waiting for and still watching the video for. Number 1, 2022, the year a vampire stepped up to save his city. Morbius. one of the movie of all time that broke all records and earned 25 more billion dollars. And okay, okay, no, I was talking about the Batman. To me, it is the best movie of 2022 because not only did this movie had a great cinematic experience and entertainment value, but it has a focused narrative as well. The reason I put it on top is because this is the type of movie I love the most. A good mystery where as the story continues to realize the whole situation is way bigger than anyone could have predicted. We are solving the mystery with our protagonist, and the shock value is same for us as it is for them as new clues are uncovered. But a good mystery movie like Shutter or Seven is becoming more and more rare nowadays. That's why I love this movie so much.
I don't know, man. You've been seeming sus lately. It's almost like we have an imposter among us. But don't lie to me, you sussy baka.
This Batman wasn't like any other live action Batman you have seen before. He doesn't have the experience, he's still learning and he makes his mistakes. And he's more ruthless than ever. He's unsure about his role in society, both as Batman and Bruce Wayne. And it was the brilliant portrayal by Robert Pattinson that hit the point home. Despite having half his face covered, he still showed the emotion required for the scene with his eyes and body language. He gave a really raw performance just as the movie required. Zoe Kravitz gave an outstanding performance as Catwoman and her chemistry with Robert made the movie so much better. Paul Dano gave an incredible performance as the Riddler. He is easily the best villain of 2022 superhero movies. All because Paul was creepy as hell in the role. He is a great actor but he outdid himself in this movie. Colin Farrell had a ball playing Penguin. He understood the role.
Holy cow, what are you showing me? His head. Come on!
Jeffrey Wright and Andy Serkis played the role with great care and added depth to the movie with their performances. This is the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight. It is different from your usual superhero movies. This is in a league of its own. I mean that opening monologue alone was better than most superhero movies, so talking about the car chase scene would just be unfair to them. Now, I know some folks thought that it was a bit too long, but seeing how much they were able to set up with this movie justified it. They showed the underground crime scene of Gotham so well, and the connections, backstories, and the hierarchy of power in
DC Universe is about.
no. The hierarchy of power in Gotham is set up in the best way possible in such a limited time. So I'm okay with it being 10-20 minutes longer than some folks would have liked it to be, as they succeeded with setting up the whole story of Gotham. But yeah, that's the list. Again, comment below your own list of top 10 movies of 2022 in the comments below. I would like to read it and see which ones I missed or didn't connect it with that you guys liked. I worked pretty hard on this video, so I will appreciate if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.